introduce the stream. Right. Sort this out. Yep. So guys, good evening and welcome to Thursday Night Racing League. This is the penultimate round of the PlayStation 4 lobby, and yes, we are here at the glorious Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. And yes, it is the one and only Hoppers in the College Box. How is everyone doing? But at the moment, I'm joined by a special guest that I'm currently going to get on the headphones in a minute, or get onto the stream, and that is of course the reigning, well, multiple champion of Thursday Night Racing League is Stefano Marchetto. I will get him in and I'll get him to go out onto the track in a moment. Right, you ready, mate? Let's go. So we're going to get Stefano Marchetto to give us a guided lap of Spa-Francorchamps. He's joined me in the commentary box for this, so let's see how well he goes. Cheers, mate. And yes, that is, of course, a lap of Spa-Francorchamps. I'm just going to completely not purposely mute on my lotto, but that is, of course, a lap of Spa-Francorchamps here in Belgium with multiple TNRL champion Stefano Marchetto. And I'll tell you what, it is an absolute stellar to be here this evening. We have got, of course, 17 drivers on the grid. I'm going to actually introduce the field and the class of this evening. Hopefully I'll get Stefano in towards the end of the race or after the race tonight for what could be a stellar night of racing for these guys. It is, of course, you know, JMR's now actually pipped him to 218.9 is my controller, was a bit of a wobbler, but we've got, of course, Lemos putting the pressure on JMR. JMR's going to join us for a pre-race formation lap interview, which we're going to try and work out for the rest of this season and going into season 8. Like I say, you've got Stefano Marchetto. He is actually delighted to be out on the grid. I was expecting him to literally join in the he was going to join the commentary, but he's decided to race tonight, so I don't blame him for that, because you know he's obviously having a break from the PlayStation 5 lobby. I believe the PlayStation 5 lobbies are having issues at the moment, but I'm not too sure. But he's joined tonight, so fair play. He's made it up to 17 races. And then we've got, of course, Jeffrey. I think it's Jeffrey, I can't remember everyone's name top of my head when I'm obviously commentating, but he's in the McLaren. Then you've got, of course, TC Joe, Steve, Seth, I believe, in the other McLaren. Yeah, so around 55 seconds to go. And you've got Chris Allen, and then, of course, Hells, aka Dunk. Then you've got Unai, I think that is, or Cars GDD in the 95 Ferrari, the pink, white and black machine. I'll try and get people's names right as we go on throughout the evening, and as well as certain corners here at Spa-Francorchamps. And of course we've got ambassador for the number 14 Lexus, so the other Lexus. So there's two Lexus RCF GT3s in the lobby this evening, which is good to see. And of course Sly Pete, and then you've got Carlos, Sergio, then of course Mosquera and Future Revenge, and then Tony Bandit in the other Porsches as well. A couple of Porsches tonight as well. So we get ready for qualifying. We'll see what Stefano Marchetto can do for qualifying. He is absolutely, I think he's delighted to be actually on the grid this evening. But we do have, of course, as I say, quite a few people. I'm just going to make sure I'm still heard on stream. I've not got the face cam on tonight just because, you know, we're trying to concentrate on the comm side for this evening. But I am, as I say, I'm looking forward to having quite a lot of people thereabouts. Yep, I am heard on stream. I'm not going to purposely ignore Stefano Marchetto. I've got him on mute at the moment so I can talk throughout the stream, but as I say, I'll get him into an interview later on. We'll get JMR into the comms box, or I'll leave the normal comms box prior to the formation lap starting, and then we'll go on board, of course, with JMR for that, and then I'll jump back into the regular comms box for the race. The race is actually an hour and 15 minutes long. It's like I think the time progression is more this evening. For this evening, because it is emulating the Spa 24-hour time frame. We're not doing 24 hours. Imagine doing 24 hours of commentary, it wouldn't be the best. But this is the penultimate round of the PlayStation 4 lobby, season 7. As I say, round number 6. 2 weeks time we go to the home of the British Grand Prix, which is Silverstone. I'm looking forward to that, seeing what's going to happen. I hope you enjoyed that guided lap though, guys, because it's something we're going to try and do every season. Now we're going to try, well, as of next season, season 8, we are going to try and get all the drivers on the grid this evening. Well, it is 15 minutes of qualifying. I thought it was actually 10, but I forgot. It's not a endurance. It is an endurance. It's not a sprint race, should I say? But looking forward to seeing what's going to happen then. There's about 17 cars on the grid this evening. It seems like a heck of a lot of cars now. It's obviously, you know, after last time out at Suzuka, where the grid was a bit depleted, but hey, we'll move on from that, and you know, we'll see what happens. We're going to get, as I say, get JMR in for a pre warm-up lap interview, see how his strategy is going to go, see what he's aiming for in the race, see what he expects for turn 1. But trying to spice up the commentary a bit now is what we're trying to do here at TNRL. Season 8 is going to look very interesting as well, because we do have not only now we don't now have 7 races going into Season 8, we now have 8. I believe we are visiting some very iconic circuits and some very iconic race formats this time round for you guys. But as I say, if you are watching the stream, please do leave me a hello, please do leave me a comment, and please do like and subscribe to Thursday Night Racing League. These guys would appreciate that. I appreciate it, because I commentate, and I am looking forward to this evening. So it is 15 minutes of qualifying. We'll see what the guys like Stefano can do. Stefano is an absolute legend for joining me for a brief lap round here, as well as a bit of a chat prior, because we didn't go I didn't go live straight away. I thought, well, catch up with Stefano, see how he's doing, and then of course watching what he's going to do. Let's see what he can do. The Italian, I find his racecraft very interesting indeed. I'm not going to lie, these guys put on a show week in, week out, and I'll tell you this, it is going to be very close to see what is going to happen. As I say, when I do get JMR, I'll get James in to join me for the formation lap. What I'll do prior to going to the formation lap, I'll jump into his car and I'll go on board with him, and then I'll invite him in and we'll talk for probably a bit of the lap. So for example, when we go down to of course the likes of the back end towards Pouon and not towards the bus stop, but halfway between the bus stop, I'll jump out and I'll wish him luck, and then I'll jump back into the comms box, because that is how we're going to do it. But it seems a long way to go at the moment for this evening. As I say, it is an hour and 15 minutes of racing tonight, but these guys know what they're doing, so they're out on their out laps. Then we've got a few sitting in pit lane. We've got Steve, Mascara, Sly Pete and Dunk at the moment. I believe Future Revengers actually made it out on track for the first time this season for qualifying. Like I say, it's up to them whether they want to qualify or whether they don't, but they will be at the back of the grid, so we'll see how well that's going to plan for this evening. As I say, we've got 4 in pit lane, but maybe getting used to the likes of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. If you're not familiar with the Belgium Grand Prix, then you are not familiar with Spa. But trying to get myself comfy while I'm sat in the comms box. But looking forward to this one, because it is the last round of well, not the last round, but the penultimate round of the season. I'm just gonna try and turn up a bit of the volume so I can hear some of the engines, but there we go. That should help me. As you can tell, I'm not actually 100% prepared for this evening, because I've been trying to sort out stuff, but we should be good to go. Let's see what's happening with the comments. We've got Dunk with comments. Good evening, mate. How are you doing, mate? How are things? But yeah, so very nice to literally have a bit of input from everyone, but looking forward to seeing what Spa brings. It's an uncertainty. I've commentated. Yeah, I kind of gathered it is you, mate. How are you? I kind of gathered, mate. I should know people by now, shouldn't I? With JMR's actually done a 218.453 of a second, but Stefano Marchetto is 0.702 of a second behind him. So multiple champion versus two-time champion of Thursday Night Racing League is JMR. JMR is currently in the 56 Ferrari. I believe he's not in the 55 Ferrari that in normal races, because someone else has according to what he put, is stolen his race number this evening, so that'll be very interesting. I think that is Tony Bandit in the 55 Porsche. There's quite a few new guys. Lemos is currently down 11th at the moment. Then you got the likes of Jeffrey and Seth and Carlos at the moment. Just trying to remember everyone's name as best as I can, but I do apologise if names do get mispronounced by the new guys. I am not seeing you guys race before, so commentary may be a bit not worse for wear, but it may be a bit different. But as I say, we've had Stefano Marchetto giving us a guided lap of course, Spa-Francorchamps, which I really hope we can get more people to give us guided laps of the circuits for next season. There may be a chance that I may jump on a track next season. I'm not too sure where it'll be, but I think it might be Alton Park. But we'll see what happens within that for season 8, because season 8 we may be visiting Alton Park, because you know, Alton Park yeah, so Alton Park may be thereabouts, but we have got, I'm just going to put the quality of the stream on my phone better, because I can't actually see it at the moment, but JMR then coming through the bus stop. Let's see what he's going to do. 8 minutes, just under 8 minutes roughly now to go in qualifying before we get the formation lap. So once we get the formation, the qualifying lap up and running, or the qualifying finished, we'll see what happens. We've got, just looking where the likes of Lemos is at the moment. He's down 12th, he's yet to set a time. There's quite a few guys there at the moment. Stefano is still second. We've got Jeffrey. Chris Allen's up to 4th, which is good impression, good lap time for the Ferrari driver. Currently in the AM class for this season. I believe he's in the AM class. I think he might be in the Pro-Am, actually. Excuse me as I cough down everyone's ear. But hopefully I won't be coughing down everyone's ear tonight, as well as potentially heavy breathing that I've been doing over the last couple of months during commentary. But Lemos goes up to 3rd, then in 24 Porsche, the German driver, currently pushing on. He's looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to see what Lemos can do tonight, because he had a bit of a nightmare at Suzuka. Not too sure why he didn't complete race 2 though, but the car off, I think that's number 7 of Sergio. I think he's gone back into pit lane. Yes, he has, with around 6 minutes and 46 seconds left for qualifying. This is the penultimate round of the PlayStation 4 lobby for season 7. Season 8 is going to be brilliant, and it's going to be exciting. Not telling you quite a lot about season 8 at the moment. We're just in the process of trying to finalise the calendar, but I'm sure by the time we hit Silverstone we will be giving you that calendar for next season, and hopefully we get some big grids next season. We've got 17 drivers tonight, which I'll tell you what, 17 is a massive lot of people for commentary. And I'll tell you what, Spa-Francorchamps, I think that was Jeff. Yes, it is. He's gone off at the end of Lake Hom, I believe. But he's managed to get back onto track. But got to be very careful to do that in the race, because especially with cars coming at speed. So you've got Chris Allen down now to 5th, but he's still in top 5 at the moment. They got Ambassador 15 DLP. He's new in the Lexus RCF. That famously say it's underrated because not many people use it. But then you got, of course, Seth in the black McLaren. You may remember Seth from Suzuka, out of position in the warm-up lap, but we'll see how well he goes tonight. Actually, it's going to be tooth and nail between him and a few of the other guys. Then you got Unai, I believe, Unai Cars in the. I don't know whether Unai Cars has changed his PSN or is GDL Sport. But 5 minutes to go in qualifying then. We'll get James in a minute with his thoughts ready for the race, and as I say, it is going to be quite an interesting night of racing for these guys. It is an hour and 15-minute racing. Looking forward to it. I think Hells has now gone out onto track, so Dunk's gone out onto track then. We'll see how well he does. Then you've got Carlos in pit lane, you've got Steve, Future Revenge, Tony Bandit, Mascara, Sly Pete, DC Joe, Sergio, and of course Dunk. Yet to set a time in qualifying, but I believe, looking at that, Lemos has gone up to 2nd then, so that's quite an impressive time for Lemos. He's split the likes of Now JMR versus Stefano Marchetto. Stefano needs to push on quite a bit. He's the guest racer for this evening, which, you know, we were going to do comms together, but then he wanted, you know, it sounded like he was getting a bit excited when I talked to him when he was testing the Lexus earlier on. But you know what, fair play to him. If he wants to race, you know, he's more than welcome to join me in the comments box for a commentary. You know, it's with these guys, Jeremiah in pit lane, then he's probably just waiting now for the time to run down. But Stefano is currently in third bent. Stefano had a frightening shunt here in a couple of seasons ago in a Mercedes, which I'm not going to let that go. I'd never let it go, but it's nice to see plenty of people out on the grid this evening, because that helps me for comms as well, and it's thereabouts. But you got the likes of Jeff, you got Steve. Steve's up into fifth then, so Steve won a race at Suzuka last time out. The Porsches are very overpowered, but there is around 4 Porsches tonight. There is a pink one, I believe. Yeah, there's a pink one, pink, silver and black, I believe, or navy blue. And then you've got a yellow and sort of a, yeah, navy blue and black machine. Sort of colour I would actually race, to be fair, but that is Mascara in the 555 Porsche GT3R. So it's going to be very nice to see. As I say, we'll get Jomar. Jomar has now just gone out of pit lane just to probably smash the lap time. But looking at that, Steve's up to 6th. You've got DC Joe up to 5th. So the 76 Ferrari, the maroon and green Ferrari. So he is back for another race. Steering issues at Suzuka hampered the Ferrari driver, and that's why he was retired in pit lane for all 2 of the sprint races last time out. So we did find out exactly the reason why he didn't make it out to track, which is very unfortunate, but hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. Touch wood, that does not happen tonight. We do have, as I say, Stefano Marchetto is still in pit lane, probably just calling it a day for now, because they do have 2 minutes and 5, so they haven't got really enough time if they are on a flyer or an outlap, because times do roughly go in. But as I say, we'll get JMR into the commentary box. Well, we'll link up via the radio just to see how well things go. It's the first time we've actually had a driver for the formation lap, and if it goes to plan, then we will do it for season 8. But the car off at I'm trying to figure out where that is. Was that going into Lacom, or was it just going out of Radion? I think it was going out of V Rouge, actually, down towards the Camel Straight. So we'll see what happens. I don't know Spa-Francorchamps roughly as corner names, but I will try my best. As I say, I know the likes of the Source, E Rouge, Radion, the Camel Straight, and Lacombe, and then Pouon, but and the bus stop chicane, but that's about it. If you guys do know and you are watching the stream, please do shout at me and please do tell me. But nevertheless, we should be good to go in a minute. We'll get JMR. He's currently out on track though, but we'll get him in for a bit of an interesting talk, but we'll see what his strategy is, what his aim is for the race, and what his expectation is for turn number 1 to lead from the start. As I say, face cam isn't up tonight, but it's not because I don't want to show you my face, it's just because I want to try and concentrate with, of course, you know, with 17 drivers on the grid, that is a heck of a lot, and I need to get through quite a lot of things. I will try and do driver interviews provided my face not my face, provided my face plays provided my voice doesn't play up, that's what I meant. But I'll get JMR into our interesting pit radio in a minute. I'll get him in a second. I'll get the Ferrari driver in, the current back-to-back champion. He's currently leading the championship, so will he make it 3-3? He's got to try and outscore Lemos somehow. I don't know how it's going to work, but he's got to outscore Lemos tonight. Lemos has got to outscore JMR, and it might be a sort of an interesting season decider. We'll see whether that happens at, of course, Silverstone in the next couple of, well, in 2 weeks' time, because we do have the season finale, as he puts it onto pole position then, so Lemos won't get a extra point for pole position. I believe the endurance and sprint points are different, but as I say, we will get JMR in for a chat in a moment or two, but we'll jump into that in a minute. We'll see how well that goes in a minute. We've just got to wait for everyone to finish qualifying, and then we'll get him in. We'll go through half a lap with him, and then we'll jump back out and then go back into the commentary box, because, you know, let's see how well this this new idea we've got for spicing the stream heads on. But it's going to be very close then, with the likes of a lot of drivers though, because, you know, as I say, we've got quite a few, so I will get JMR into the comments box in a minute. There's a double yellow flag somewhere, not too sure where that's flashing up at, but we do have, of course, JMR into hopefully we'll get the not the next victim, but we'll get the current championship leader into our comms box in a minute. I think they're just waiting for the server to be reset, ready for the race. But we'll see what the condition. Yeah, so it's an hour and 15-minute race. But we will get JMR then into the comms box. So hopefully he joins us.
Evening.
Evening, mate. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm on pole, so I'm very happy.
Yeah.
By some margin as well.
Was impressive lap time, mate.
Yeah, there was more in it as well. I lost about 2/10 in the final corner, so
yeah,
17 was definitely possible, but yeah, happy with that.
Fair enough. I'll wait till the formation starts, and then we'll do a bit of a lap. We'll do probably,
right.
I don't know where. We'll try and do it somewhere. We'll see how it goes, because it's a bit of a new territory for us all, I think.
Indeed, indeed.
But I'll make sure we're both heard still on stream. Yeah, we are. That's all right.
Yeah, it should be interesting getting into Eau Rouge for the first time.
Yeah, just hold your breath.
Yeah, Ferrari's really bad off the starts. I've tried to brake boost before, but doesn't seem to help very much.
Yeah. See, I won't know what your setup is yet.
I'm not giving too much away.
No, I wouldn't give too much, mate. But
it's quick, I can tell you that.
Fair enough. Then I'll let you set off for a minute, and then I'll introduce you to the viewers. But so guys, yes, welcome back to Thursday Night Racing League. I'm actually on the radio intercom with, of course, JMR, who's currently a pole position and championship leader. Good evening, James. How are you, mate?
Good evening. I'm very good, thank you.
Good man. So obviously tonight we're at Spa-Francorchamps, you know, notorious for wet weather carnage in real life, but I don't think there's any wet weather in the sky. But what are you hoping for tonight, as well as what's going to go on at the start? What sort of strategy are you using? Don't give too much away on strategy, because I think the guys might feel like, ooh, here we go, we'll listen to what he's had to say and then we'll update it for Silverstone, but, you know.
Yeah, so I'm sort of just going into lap one. Obviously, I can't be too rash. I've got to be careful in that some respect. So yeah, just turn one, even up to Red Rouge, I've got to try and cover off any moves. Right, like at the minute, I'm warming the tyres, warming the brakes. Brakes are probably most important, to be honest, because I want to be able to stop at the end of the Kemmel Straight. But yeah, I don't know. I've got a bit more fuel on than half distance, so I'm planning to do a slightly longer stint at the start. But yeah, basically that one just trying to hold off. Lemos behind, Marma as well, very quick in that Lexus. Got to watch out on the straights for Stefano in the Lexus. But yeah, basically just covering off any moves from behind as much as I can. Try and build a gap and yeah, try and hold them until it needs a pit stop.
So your pit stop window, what are you expecting? Are you expecting half distance, or are you expecting to run a bit longer?
I'm hoping to run a little bit longer just so I can have less fuel and fresher tyres at the end of the race, so I can have a quick last stint. So
okay.
I'll happily sacrifice a little bit of pace in this first stint to ensure that I'm as quick as I can be in that second stint.
Okay, so obviously, you know, like you got your title nemesis behind you. You want Marmolotto to be a car in front of him at least, or at least for Lemos to go backwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is what you want.
Yeah, I mean, if I can, obviously I'm not going to let Marma through, but I will try and back maybe Lemos into Marma to get them fighting. But I have got a 20-point advantage on Lemos going into this round, so I'm not going to be too stupid. I've got a fucking championship at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, just damage limitation basically. I love this track, so I'm hoping for a good result tonight.
Okay, mate, I'll leave you to it, and best of luck, mate.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully it's a good race, so I'll let you form up, and I will catch you in a bit, mate.
Awesome, thank you.
Cheers, Paul. Ta-da. So there we go, ladies and gents. Do apologise about that. Just trying to flip through everything. We're going to try and work out a different way of introducing people to the grid. But I believe Stefano is actually still on. Is he on mute? No, he's not. But we might have a bit of a view with Stefano Marchetto while he's warming up, and then I'll put my mic onto mute for him, so he's not getting annoyed. But how are you, mate? How's things? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I do, mate. Yeah. I'll let you go, mate, because the start's about to start any minute. See you in a bit. Ta-da. So let's go, and it is lights out and away we go. I am going to just quickly put Stefano on mute so he's not hearing me shout, because that's a bit unfair. But yes, it's lights out and away we go. I think everyone's got through it very safely. We got Mascara. I think he was he in pit lane? Yes, he was. He actually started from pit lane, so we got already. Lemos has actually got into JMR, because JMR's already dropped down to second, has he? I think so. Yes, he has. And the time screen is throwing an absolute wobbler, but hopefully things go well. So that is Lemos currently leading them from JMR in second, followed by Jeffrey, followed by Stefano Marchetto. He's dropped down to fourth. That's not what he wants for this race, but got Ambassador in the other Lexus, so it's a Lexus fourth and fifth at the moment. So the Lexuses could be on strong tonight. There's a bit of a gap between DC Joe and of course Chris Allen, under attack from Steve at the moment as they go down the I don't know exactly what corner it was going into, but you got Steve, then you got Unite Cars, but there's a car off, so I can't remember. There was a car off, I think there would have been. Yes, that is Ambassador in the 14 Lexus RCF. Dropped down a couple of places now, maybe a bit under pressure at the minute, but who knows what he'll do, because he's in the number 14. He's actually split the likes of Chris Allen and of course Steve at the moment as we go through sort of the hectic turns here at Spa-Francorchamps. I'll throw the helicam up for a bit because that might help us a bit more this evening instead of the cameras throwing an absolute wobbler. Then you got Steve, and of course I think that might be GDL Sport, I might not be 100%, but Unite Cars then at the moment in of course Knight, followed by Seth. Then you got Tony Bandit under pressure from Hells at the moment, going up towards the bus stop chicane. Then Hells gets that move done straight away on the 55 Porsche, the pink, black and white machine, or just chrome silver machine, but going into the bus stop. And you got of course I believe that is Sergio. Sergio's in the Audi Snipe instead of the Lamborghini Huracan, but fair enough. Then you got Sly Pete, then you got Carlos, Future Revenge, and then of course at the tail of the field coming through the bus stop chicane at the moment is of course Mosquera. But let's see what's going to happen then as we start the other lap. So we start lap number 1, lap number 2 actually, out of, I can't remember how many races, but it is how many laps rather, I beg your pardon. With the likes of Lemos being chased down by his title nemesis at the moment. Stefano Marchetto has got back in front of course Jeffrey, but Jeffrey's thinking about it, going down the camel straight into Lacombe as JMR gets that outside move before Lacombe. That's what he wants, to get in front of Lemos for this evening. These two are going tooth and nail, as we said before. JMR said before, there's 20 points going into tonight as well between Lemos. He needs more points to get away from Lemos to take the title towards Silverstone, but I believe Jeffrey's got back in front of Stefano Marchetto. No, he hasn't. I thought he did, but the as I say, the camera angles are a bit dodgy tonight, but we'll try and go on board with a few drivers as well. But I'll tell you what, I hope you're enjoying the stream, guys. Please do give that a massive thumbs up. Please do help me out with the commentary by liking the stream and subscribing to Thursday Night Racing League. I'll tell you what, this is going to be very close. I think the top two championship wise, they will be having a battle tooth and nail. You've got Chris Holland, DC Joe 5th and 6th at the moment, with Ambassador under threat from Steve in the black and grey Porsche. These Porsches are very overpowered, but they are very quick. They may pounce on you, but the Ambassador goes right wide there, but I don't think he'd mind calling me calling him that, the Ambassador. But always a bit of contact between himself and Unite Cars, as that was a bit unfortunate, I think. But that probably will be now looked at the stewards, because I think the Ambassador came back on track, which he didn't mean to, but then obviously cut the nose of course Unite Cars, and then it sent them, the Ambassador, into the wall. So that's Seth and Hells at the moment. Dunk's trying to go on the move down to the bus stop chicane. Is he going to be able to do it this time round? I don't think so, but you know, he's got the Unite Cars. I think he's there, but the time screen's just absolute friendly wobbler. Then you've got Sergio, Sly Pete, Tony Bandit, the Ambassador, and then Carlos, Future Revenge, and then of course Mosquera. But what's happening further up as we go up to East Rouge, up towards Radion. Oh, this is great stuff between Lemos and of course JMR leading the race. Then that's what he wants. But he wants the car between him and stuff, a car between him and Lemos. So what he wants is Marmolotto. Marmolotto is very quick, but we know how quick he's going to go tonight for the one-off race in the Lexus RCF. He's actually raced in this car before, but he's not in his faithful Bentley, which we usually see him in if he's on a one-off. But there is a car off at I think that is Seth. Didn't see exactly what happened, but he's gone into pit lane then. So that could be a early retirement, or it could be an early casualty. But you've got Lemos trying to chase down JMR, should I say. But we'll see what happens between the likes of Stefano. Jeffrey up into fourth then, doing a stellar job in that 765 McLaren 70S GT3. I'll tell you what, this is absolutely a big class at the moment, but it does look like unfortunately Seth has retired that McLaren, so it does look like we are down to now 16 cars at the moment. Hopefully 16 survive, but still a grueling race with an hour and just under 1 hour and 9 minutes, just under 9 minutes to go in this race here at Spa-Francorchamps for round number 6 rather of the Thursday Night Racing League from Spa-Francorchamps season 7 as well, the penultimate endurance race of the season. But you've got Chris Allen followed by Steve, then you've got Hells holding off Sergio. Sergio's a bit far back, then you've got Tony Bandit under pressure from Sly Pete at the moment, so the 55 Porsche versus the McLaren, the midnight purple McLaren 720S, but then it's another McLaren of course. There's a lot of cars going through the bus stop chicane. It looks like there's a bit of an issue, is there, going through there, or is it just they're all congregating? I think it's like it might be all congregating like it's a playground scrap, but who knows what's going to happen. But then you've got Carlos there trying to chase after Sly Pete and Tony Bandit. Tony Bandit's been overtaken by, of course, Sly Pete at the moment. Sly Pete pushing on. Sly Pete had a bit of a disaster. There's a car going into pit lane. I think that is hitting Uni cars. Yes, it is. So Mosquera will pick up to 15th then. So he's not doing too bad. But the battle for second is a bit close now for comfort. Let's go on board with Stefano Marchetto into Lacombe. Let's see what he's going to do. Trying to chase after Lemos, but these two battled for a bit. I think Stefano decided last season, I think he did go PlayStation 4 for a bit, but he's now racing the PS5 lobby, believe it or not. But he's in for a treat tonight. He's racing these guys. It's 3:30 in the afternoon on the time with the race, but got an hour and 7 minutes still to go here at Spa-Francorchamps this evening. But if you are watching the stream, guys, welcome in, and hopefully you are enjoying. My voice straight away is sounding like it's a bit dry, but I'll get a drink in a minute just to wet the voice box. But you know, let's carry on and see what happens then. So Jeffrey still fourth, then DC Joe fifth, Chris Allen's still sixth, Steve in, of course, 7th. But what's happening with the likes of JMR? JMR is actually miles away from Lemos at the moment. This is what he wants, you know, he wants to become a third title winner of Thursday Night Racing League, but he can't afford any silly mistakes, but he's doing very well at the moment. We'll see if we can get into the swing of things, but Stefano is still right on the back of Lemos. He's going into the bus stop. As I say, some cars are spread out, some aren't, but we've got Unai, I think that's Unai. I could be totally pronouncing it wrong, but he's currently still in pit lane then in that Ferrari, so that's not good for the Ferrari, the 95 Ferrari driver at the moment. But hopefully he will be back out on the grid, back out on the track very soon. Yes, he is. He's actually repaired his car, but he's going to be getting into traffic very shortly, because, well, they're not, but he's come out as the top 3 then. Just about join that battle, but got to be very careful when coming out of pit lane, because that could be disaster as well. But Stefano Marchetto is thinking about going one way against Lemos. He's going to try and do exactly what JMR did to Lemos. A couple of laps to go, but side by side between the pair of them going to Lacombe. Then got to be very careful. Excuse me. As Lemos goes on the defensive as Stefano tries to get him. But soon figure out what is going on for this evening, but we'll soon find out. But we've got between the likes of Lemos and Stefano at the moment, going on for dear life at the moment. That could be very interesting between Stefano and Lemos. But then you've got Jeffrey. Jeffrey's about to put a lap on, of course, Unai cars at the moment. But that all depends on how quick, because Jeffrey doesn't want to be held up as much, because he wants to get past that car to catch up to the other two. As Stefano Marchetto is still in third place. He tried to get second a moment ago from Lemos, but Jeffrey is still there. He's going to be catching up to these guys. DC Joe also in the top 5 at the moment. Chris Allen in the top 6. So, you know, still a long way to go in this race, but who knows what could be planned. Then you've got Steve, then you've got Hells, and then you've got Sergio, and then Sly Pete, and then Carlos, that is. Future Revenge, then Ambassador trying to catch up towards, of course, excuse me, catch up towards Future Revenge at the moment. Then you got Tony Bandit, and then of course Mascara at the moment, but soon figure out with JMR eking out that advantage from, of course, Lemos and Stefano Marchetto at the moment. This is what JMR actually needs. He needs the other two, excuse me, with the likes of Stefano stepping in for a one-off drive this evening. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the rest of the race. We've got an hour and 3 minutes left. Not even at the halfway stage yet, but we're on board with Stefano Marchetto then, trying to chase after, of course, Lemos at the moment. Lemos is thereabouts, but, you know, Stefano is on course to try and push on. He is very quick indeed. But, you know, can't afford any silly mistakes. You got Jeffrey there, it's still in 4th, but we'll see if the ambassador, but I'm going to call him the ambassador. He's got past Future Revenge, clips the curbs out of course, E-Rouge and Radiant. Got to be very careful for track limits, but he's got alongside the Bentley, the red and a blue machine. Stefano Marchetto's favourite car though, no doubt. But Stefano is in the Lexus at the moment. Has there been a change for second? Not just yet, but JMR still leading the race then from from Lemos and Stefano. But you got DC Joe, and then Chris Allen is thereabouts. Then you got Steve's chasing down Chris Allen at the moment, with Dunk still in 8th at the moment. Sergio in 9th. Then you got Carlos, Sly Pete, and then the Ambassador and Future Revenge chasing each other down. They're having a nice battle for what is, of course, 12th and 13th at the moment. But who knows what's going to happen between the two of them at the moment. There's a yellow flag though, however, and that is Mascara. He's gone into pit lane, so that could be another casualty, but we'll soon find out in a minute, because, you know, these guys that are new to the racing have got to try and push on, because they don't want to quit out, because if they quit out, it's still a long way to go in this race. It's still an hour, just under an hour to go, so we can see what's going to happen in a minute. But Lemos and Stefano Marchetto at the moment, it could be very close indeed. But you know, Mascara's still in pit lane then, so he's got a bit of an issue as Stefano tries to push on for what could be a second place, as he tries about it now, but Lemos breaks into late ultimate contact between the pair of them. Oh dear. Oh dear. Stefano's first race back for a week or so. He's made contact with Lemos and he's lost 3rd place as well. He could even lose 4th at the moment to DC Joe. I don't think he meant to do that to Lemos, but I think they were just going side by side, and then kind of broke a bit late. But no damage done, no limitation, but might be damage limitation to Stefano's 3rd podium. But we'll still find out. But you know, we'll find out after the race if we can. But you never know with Stefano Marchetto. He's going to have to push on now, because he's got JMR still leading them from, of course, Lemos. Lemos is probably thinking, what are you doing, man? But fair play, though. He's not giving up yet. But you got, of course, Jeffrey now in third. The timing screen needs to update. Thank you. With Stefano fourth. DC Joe fifth. Chris Allen is now in sixth. Little Steve seventh. Hells eighth. Sergio in ninth. Carlos in 10th. Sly Pete 11th. The Ambassador, as I'm going to call him, in 12th. Followed by Future Revenge. Tony Bandit in 14th. Unite Cars still a lap down, well, 2 laps down now, in 15th. And then Mascara out of pit lane then. Not done the mandatory. It's not clicked to mandatory. I think it was a damaged pit stop. So, you know, things might happen with the likes of Lemos still second. JMR now literally trying to catch... Well, Lemos trying to catch up JMR, but JMR's probably gone all the way up Radion down to now the Camel Straight. So Lemos is there. We've got to be very careful with track limits on these corners, but I suppose there's certain places with Stefano Marchetto now. He's got to push on. He's got to push on to now get in the podium. This is why I love commentary. This is why I love doing commentary for these guys, because these guys treat me with so much respect. You know, and this is what I like. But you got DC Joe trying to chase him down. You've got Chris Allen in 6th at the moment. There's quite a lot of moments here at the moment, but there's not many battles galore, should I say? But we'll set the camera. Yeah, there we go. That's better. But JMR then still leading the race, and exactly what he wants. He's around 6.5 seconds ahead of Lemos at the moment. We need to find out exactly what everyone's strategy is, or find out a tiny incy bit of strategy. But we know JMR is going to go slightly towards the end with his strategy. He's kind of go halfway and then see what happens at halfway. But there's not much in it at the moment, because we're still at 57 minutes, not even at the halfway stage yet. You've got Jeffrey doing a very stellar job at the moment. And of course, third place, you never know. It could be a McLaren on the podium this time around. You never know. But Stefano Marchetto still pushing on. There's quite a few, I think, as Chris Allen goes a bit wide there. Steve's catching him up, but we'll go on board with Steve then catching that number 28 yellow and black Ferrari. He's flashing the light, saying, "Come on, Chris, what are you doing?" But then he realises there's a lap car ahead of Chris as well, so that might hamper the Brit driver in front of us. We're on board with Steve. Steve, winner of race 2 at the sprint race at Suzuka last time out. As we go into the bus stop chicane then, on board with Steve at the moment. He's got to be very careful, but I think he's going to... Oh, was he... yes, he was overtaking Unite Cars there, so could be very close to see what happens, but who knows what's going to happen further around. I think, just looking at the order, we've got the Ambassador versus Future Revenge. Future Revenge is a bit far back at the moment, and then of course got Tony Bandit, but Lemos then still second at the moment. Held on to it quite well though, to be fair. I know it looked like they both went sideways, but held on to it and escaped with Stefano Marchetto in 4th place at the moment. But JMR though, he's doing very well at the moment with under 50, just coming up to 55 minutes remaining in this race here at Spa-Francorchamps for round number 6, season 7. The Thursday Night Racing League, the PlayStation 4 lobby. If you are watching the stream, guys, please do smash that thumbs up button, and please do like and subscribe to Thursday Night Racing League, and don't forget to click that notification bell, because you do not want to miss racing like this, because we are at Spa-Francorchamps this evening, and then we head off, of course, to Silverstone in 2 weeks' time. And I'll tell you what, if you're wondering who this friendly voice is, of course, it's the one and only, and a Thursday Night Racing League regular commentator now is, of course, Hoppers in the commentary box. Hope everyone is doing well on this Thursday. Could even be Friday for some of you never know. But hopefully everything is going well. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next half of this race, because excuse me, Stefano's now got to push on. You've got DC Joe that might catch him, It's around 3.9 of a second, I think that is, or is it 3.9 from Chris Allen at the moment? I'm not too sure how that pans out, but Steve's, yeah, it's probably around from Chris Allen at the moment, but Steve's catching up to Chris at the moment. You can just see the number 28 Ferrari trying to push away from the 789 Porsche, the black, silver and grey machine. Very interesting liveries. I'm looking forward to seeing what next season brings. Maybe if Jeremiah wins the championship, he has the number 1 plate and has a splash of gold on his car. But at the moment, it seems a very lowly race for some people. But looks like the Ambassador and Future Avenger, they're having a bit of a close battle. But looking at the map then, let's have a look at what's happening on the map. There's not many cars, battles galore, but as I say, you've got Future Avenger and of course the Ambassador almost having a bit of a battle together. So we'll see what's going to happen for this one, because this could be a very close battle going into the bus stop. But just remember, they do have to take a mandatory pit stop, whether it's for fuel or tyres or both. But it can actually hamper you if you're not careful. Jeremiah then, forgot about this kid. Forgot about this guy. He is currently leading the race then. So he's enjoying probably having that 9.7 gap from Lemos at the moment. He probably was aware that Lemos and Stefano Marchetto had a bit of contact, I believe, because that's why the gap had grown a bit. But you've got the likes of Jeffrey. Stefano is currently under pressure. Or has he got past Jeffrey? Yes, he has. I beg your pardon. He has got past Jeffrey. Didn't see that happening, but maybe because we're flicking through the grid. But looks like Jeffrey's got overtaken by Stefano Marchetto at the moment, but who knows what's going to happen. But could be very close and personal, but could be close for you, what you like. But then you got DC Joe then with of course in 5th, and Chris Allen still 6th, under pressure though, as the Queen song goes. Under pressure, yes. I'm not going to break into the Queen song and sing the Queen song for you guys. But it looks like Chris is going to be under pressure from, of course, Steve at the moment, but we'll soon find out. But looks like Stefano Marchetto then currently in 3rd, with the likes of Jeffrey in 4th then, but DC Joe in 5th then, with Steve currently but we'll see what happens with the likes of Steve then, trying to get past Chris Allen as they go into the source. But it could be very close between the pair of them. But we'll soon figure it out. But we'll soon find out exactly what's going on between these pair. But we'll soon find out with Steve trying to put Chris Allen under pressure into Lake On. Is he going to be able to do it? Excuse me as I try and clear my throat. But Jeremiah then, comfortable lead at the moment, with Stefano Marchetto still 3rd of them, with Jeffrey also 4th, DC Joe in 5th, Chris Allen 6th. Excuse me, with Steve chasing him down. Hell's Dunk in 8th place at the moment, with Sergio in, of course, 9th at the moment. And then you got Carlos, Sly Pete, and then the Ambassador, of course Future Revenge, then Tony Bandit, Unai Cars, and then of course Mascara. Rounded up the field, we lost Seth though, but you know, still a bit of a battle brewing between the likes of Chris Allen and of course Steve at the moment. Steve's trying to... But we'll soon find out what's going to happen between the likes of Chris and of course Steve at the moment. Steve could be excuse me, Steve could be pushing on for 6th, but almost looks like Lemos is having a bit of a, I don't want to say a bit of a nightmare at the moment, because it's still a long way to go in this race, but JMR then going through the actually start-finish line for this evening, but we honestly thought it would be a bit more carnage, but you know, there's quite a bit with Lemos still there, 10.8 of a second. Stefano Marchetto catching up by 2.7, but could be a very close next sector of the race, because you know, the whole stint could be very important to see what happens with the like of Jeffrey going up. Of course, Erosion Radion, up to Radion he goes, but down to the Camel Straight. But who knows what's going to happen there between quite a lot of the guys now, because you know, as I say, it is almost into the last half, next half of the race. But we got, of course, Chris Holland still there in 6th. Then DC Joe's catching up to Jeffrey very not quickly, but he's catching thereabouts. He's in the top 5 at the moment. Fair play. You got Chris Allen and Steve, and you got Hells. You got Carlos rather versus Sergio, and then of course Slow Pete. But then you got Ambassador versus Future Revenge. These two could be having a bit of a nose to tail battle going up to Radion, but we'll soon figure out exactly what's going to happen. And you got Tony Bandit, Unite Cars, and then of course Mascara rounded up the field. But what's happening with JMR? JMR is light years ahead of Lemos and of course Stefano Marchetto at the moment. They got DC Joe then, followed by Chris Allen, and of course Steve at the moment. Steve's dropped a bit behind at the moment, but whether that's because of lap cars or not, but we'll see what happens, because there is a battle for 11th, 12th and 13th, I believe. But we'll soon figure out what's going to happen as we look from behind. Excuse me, the ambassador. Excuse me, the ambassador. For now, but he's looking back from the Lexus RCF, the number 14 machine at Future Revenge there. But looks like we've got a bit of a melee going on between them guys, but you know, you've got the likes of DC Joe and of course Steve's now catching back up to Chris Allen at the moment. But looking at the gap then between Lemos and JMR currently looking at could be another win this season, but he needs to get a comfortable, JMR needs to get a comfortable gap and a comfortable win this evening. But as I say, it all depends. If my voice holds up, I'll do driver interviews, but if not, then I'll do them at the final round of course, at Silverstone. But looking at the moment then with the likes of Lemos and Stefano Marchetto, it seems like there is a lot to take in between these guys. We're around 46 minutes remaining, just under. And this race, round number 7 of, no, round number 6, season 7, come on. But you got round number 6 at season 7 of the PlayStation 4 guys for Thursday Night Racing League. We do have 8 races next season, which I'm looking forward to, because we do have one more race added to the calendar for next season. Not too sure where we're going, not too sure exactly whereabouts we're going, but we do have, of course, a few iconic circuits coming up very soon for Season 8, which hopefully by the time we get to Silverstone we'll be able to give you guys that, as Sly Pete is now under pressure from Ambassador, but we'll soon find out what's going to do. 45 minutes to go then, so we're not even at the halfway stage yet, which is a bit unreal. But then again, we have been racing, as I say, almost there. But Stefano Marchetto then is into pit lane then, so the driver from third place. He's gonna have to. He's a bit of a weird pit stop around here at Spa, but he is currently now in pit lane. Then we've got, I'll see what's happening, but Steve's got past Chris Allen by looks of it. Yes, he has, as Chris actually goes into pit lane. And so a couple of cars now at 44 minutes to go on the clock then, excuse me, are making their mandatory pit stops. We do have the likes of Ambassador putting under pressure from Future Revenge at the moment. This could be a bit of a turning point in the race between the 12th and 13th car, but soon find out what's going to happen with the likes of Future Revenge onto the back bumper then. Almost on board with Future Revenge going up towards the bus stop chicane, but it's got the lights ablaze for some bizarre reason, but maybe he likes racing with the lights on, which is fair enough. I wouldn't blame him for that, but soon find out. But that's, you know, the likes of the likes of JMR, Lemos and Jeffrey and a couple of the guys put Stefano Marchetto then into his pit stall then, still there with JMR still leading 13.1 of a second then from Lemos. It would have been funny if that was Lemos behind him, but it's not. It is of course Mascara, but you got Jeffrey up to third, then DC Joe fourth. You got Stefano Marchetto now dropped off to Jax, so he is about to come off out of pit lane, I believe. So he's going to have to put the pedal to the metal, put the pedal to the floor to try and fly up. But Chris Allen is also the next driver to come out. But you got the likes of, I think Unai cars will have to take another pit stop, even though it was a pit stop for damage, I believe. But got 42 minutes coming up on the clock very soon. You've got Lemos. Lemos is the next driver to pit in then, so looks like we're not, when we get to half distance, I think we're getting towards half distance now. That's the likes of Lemos and the likes of Marma, Chris Allen, and of course Unai cars, but Unai cars will probably have to take another one. But we've got Lemos then currently down into pit lane, so that's allowed Jeffrey. I think that he's also going to allow DC Joe and Steve to get into top 4 now, which it has, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Got the Ambassador trying to get past of course Sly Pete at the moment. Got to be very careful. I think there's been a bit of contact, or there's been just a bit of panel rubbing, should I say, but we'll soon figure out what's going to go on, because the Ambassador is getting up very close to Sly Pete at the moment. Sly Pete's trying to defend like mad from this this hunting down of Lexus RCF. I hope this doesn't end in tears going into the bus stop chicane, but it doesn't. So the Ambassador in front of Sly Pete now. So Sly Pete is dropped down to 11th by the looks of it. No, he's dropped down to 10th, I beg your pardon. But there's the Ambassador trying to get away from, of course, trying to get away from Sly Pete at the moment. But Sly Pete's on a mission, because these guys look like they're going to be on a mission. I hope they don't have any contact going into Erosion and up to Radion, because that would be a disaster. But Lemos is coming out of pit lane then. A bit of a longer pit lane up here at Spa-Francorchamps for what is essentially a very tight and narrow pit lane. But you've got the likes of Marma and Lemos, and of course Chris Allen. Lemos is actually pipped Marma to a pit stop position there, but you got the Ambassador and Future Revenge, followed by Sly Pete, and then of course Tony Bandit and Mascara a couple of laps down now, so that is going to be hampering a bit. But JMR then still leading the race then with 40 minutes, just under 40 minutes now to go in this penultimate endurance race of the season, as Jeffrey goes into pit lane with DC Joe and of course Steve now second and third. This could be a good showing from the 76 Ferrari for this evening, but who knows what's going to happen. But you've got a bit of time yet to go, but 39 minutes to go in this race, so still a bit of a way to go, but anything can happen. Track limits, penalties, as well as contact between other drivers. You know, it's still a long way to go. It's still, these guys must be aching for racing an hour and 15 minutes, but rumour has it for next season there could be a 2-hour race going on, but you never know with these guys. But so far with the likes of Future Revenge and Sly Pete, but Carlos goes into pit lane then. He's the next batched, or the next driver should I say, to take his mandatory, but as Jeffrey goes out, but as I say, it's still a long way to go. But DC Joe then, under pressure from Steve, as I keep saying under pressure, I've probably got that Queen song in my head. But it seems that Steve's going to try and put DC Joe under pressure, the Ferrari versus the Porsche then. Seems like the Ferrari 1-2 at the moment, but it may not stay like that for long. But you've got quite some interesting cars that were actually on to go for quite some time then. But 38 minutes left of this race. We're not even, as I say, we're not even halfway yet. It will be halfway very soon though. But this is why these guys need to pick their strategies in the hour and 15-minute race. We do have an hour and 15-minute race, of course, at Silverstone in 2 weeks' time. I believe that is going to be wet, so it could be even a very unknown territory yet again, with the wet weather, the weather gods trying to put on a bit of time, but trying to still emulate quite a lot of things at the moment. But Steve jumps into pit lane. I thought he actually nearly hit the back of halfway. We actually are now halfway through the race now, so this is the halfway stage then. So JMR is on a course for a halfway stage point, but I'll see what happens between now and the end of the race. I'll try and keep you up to date with what's going on. I think Carlos is coming out pit lane now, so Hells jumps into pit lane then, so that's going to push him up. But they'd like the ambassador, and he's in Future Revenge and Sly Pete, even though they've got to take mandatory, they're up into the top, and of course Sergio, they're up into the top 7, the top 8 rather, at the moment. So good showing from these guys at the moment. The likes of Tony Bandit and of course Mascara have yet to take their mandatory. I think Unite Cars will have to do the same. But JMR then, looking forward to what's going to happen, because he is at the halfway stage now. Is he going to stay out a bit longer than the likes of DC Joe, Steve? Well, Steve's still in pit lane at the moment with the likes of the other guys, but Steve's now into his pit box, which so is of course Hells, but Future Revenge is in, Sly Pete's in, Sergio's in, so quite a few cars now as they make their pit stops. But this is where the likes of the ambassador, I'm going to call him the ambassador because I don't know his proper name, but currently with just under 36 minutes to go then, so we could have a quite interesting moments of racing. But JMR then, he is still going to take another lap then, so he's on to lap number 18 very soon. The likes of DC Joe and the ambassador, they are currently thereabouts. They're in the top 3. But that's now allowed Stefano Marchetto then. Oh, this could be close. This could be interesting, because Stefano is up into 4th. Lemos is 7th at the moment. Oh, as he brakes for Lecom. But he's gone the other way round. Oh dear. He's got a bit of damage on that Porsche as well, so has he had a bit of contact yet again, or is he just has he had a bit of an issue? Because I didn't see what went on, but Stefano Marchetto, his car looks pristine. So it looks like Lemos is struggling at the moment. Has he got damage? He might have damage, you know. He's either got damage or he's got severe issues at the moment, which isn't looking good for the German driver. So he's down currently. I'm trying to figure out on the timing screen. Stop go penalty for track limits though for Sly Pete. So that's not. That's gonna. Oh, speeding in the pit lane. I beg your pardon. It's not for track limits. It's for speeding in the pit lane. That's gonna hamper him big time. So Lemos is now down into 9th. That is unfortunate for second place in the championship. Then he can't afford mistakes like these anymore, because this is what he doesn't want. And there's another car gone off somewhere. Just trying to figure it out on the map. 776 that was, I think. Or was it 79? 765, I beg your pardon. I think that might have been Jeff. Yeah, Jeff's got a bit. Did he have a bit of an issue? But JMR then at, of course, 33 minutes left on this race to go into pit lane, then to take his mandatory. Chris Allen's also in pit lane. Has he had damage with Lemos though? Is that what's happened? This is interesting, because Lemos is also in pit lane. Yes, it looks like it. This is a bit unfortunate for Lemos, and I mean a very unfortunate. But Stefano Marchetto then, is he going to be able to take the race lead, or is JMR going to get out way before he gets around the, as we see the ambassador? Not too sure what he's doing there, but I think he clips the maybe the pit stop didn't go well for him, but maybe the pit crew weren't ready for him. But JMR then into pit lane then. At the moment he's crawling down pit lane, but that's allowed the likes of DC Joe to get into the race lead. Stefano Marchetto though, where is he? He is currently going through the back end of the circuit. And he's got Steve 4th, then Hells 5th, Jeffrey 6th, the ambassador, Chris Allen, and Lemos. Oh, I don't know what's happened to Lemos. I feel sorry for him. He's probably had some damage, or he's had a puncture or some sort. Excuse me. Unite Cars in, of course, 10th. Of course, we've got Carlos, followed by Future Revenge going up towards Radion, but these two could be tooth and nail. Then you've got Sergio, and of course Sly Pete for a stop-go penalty though. He's got, and the ambassador now has a stop-go 30 seconds stop-go penalty for speeding in pit lane. This is what the guys can't really afford in this race, especially if you were leading the race. You can't afford that. But JMR currently going through. JMR is. Stefano's going through Le Source, so JMR's back out into second. Oh, this is getting tense. This is probably why commentary gives me so much joy. You know, so much happens in the race. But I think Sly Pete is going to be taking his stop-go penalty. Lemos is now trying to find out where Lemos is actually. We do have 15 cars on the grid. I think Lemos is actually gone. Let's have a look at the times at the moment, but we do have, just having a look, I can't actually tell, but I think Lemos is actually gone. I think Lemos is actually retired from the race, because Chris Allen's still there, and I'm trying to figure out who else has gone. But I think that might have been, I think the ambassador's gone as well. So there's quite a few cars now that have disappeared. It's not looking good though. But still 14 cars on the grid for the race for the last 30 minutes. It's got 30 minutes to go. I don't understand why people need to rage quit. But stop-go penalty for Sly Pete is now cleared. He better not speed again, because he'll get another one. But I think he's learnt his lesson this time around. But you know, got the likes of DC Joe then still leading the race from JMR then, followed by Stefano Marchetto, and then of course Steve Hells. So Lemos looks like he's now retired that Porsche. which is a big shame really, because I think there is been, I don't know whether there's been a bit of contact, but Lemos is not, and I repeat, Lemos is not come back out from repairing that Porsche. So that Porsche seemed, the 24 the 24 Porsche seems to have had mechanical issues. DC Joe, well held, but he's pointing the wrong. Oh, he's clipped the barrier a bit, but he well held. He's still got a gap of probably gosh knows how many over JMR, so he might as well. But he held it well. So you got Stefano Marchetto then in, of course, second at the moment with the likes of. Yeah, so JMR is second, Stefano is third, Steve fourth, with Hells in fifth then, with Jeffrey, or Jeff Bry. I'll try and pronounce people's names correctly in due course for next season, but we'll see what happens with the likes of Unai cars. Still out there with, yeah, so DC Joe's got quite a lot of time, so he doesn't need to worry about JMR catching him, so he can take his mandatory. We've got Chris Holland back in pit lane. So that's a bit unfortunate for the 28 Ferrari then, is he had a bit of the wars. Tony Bandit also there. Ooh, Chris Holland's gone as well. Don't know what's happening, they're all falling like flies at the moment, with around 28 minutes to go in this race. I hope nothing majorly's happened, but seems to be quite a few that have dropped out, as DC Joe then are doing a stellar job at the moment in, of course, first place with JMR then, still circulating, but I'd love to know what's actually really gone on, because there's 13 cars on the grid, or 13 cars left in the race with around 27 minutes left of this race. It just seems like, is there an issue or there's stuff we don't know, but I'll try and find out for you, but we'll soon find out what's going on. I'm going to try and find out what's going on, why we've got 13 at the moment. But hopefully we should have, excuse me, well, I don't know what's really gone on, because why have we lost quite a few drivers this evening, but DC Joe still leading from, of course, excuse me, JMR at the moment, but we'll try and catch up with, of course, Stefano Marchetto in a minute, because we're going to see how well he's, what he's planning for the remainder of the race. We'll try and do it around 15 minutes to go in this race, so we'll try and see what's going to happen. I think he's going to try and multitask with us this evening, but we'll soon find out in a moment or two. I'm just going to make sure I'm still heard on stream, because in a moment or two, yes, I am. That's all right. I just want to make sure, but probably around 10 minutes time, we'll try and get Stefano Marchetto to have a bit of a chat with us to see how well his race is going so far. But now that Lemos is DNF'd, and now that Lemos is, I don't know where he's gone, but it's a bit unfortunate this evening to have a title nemesis of JMR's retire yet again for the second meeting in a row. It's not really good, because especially if he wants to try and win the title from JMR this season, but we'll soon find out. But Stefano's still circulating third place then, getting onto the podium. You got Steve fourth, you got Hells in fifth then, followed by Jeff Bry in, of course, sixth, followed by Unai Cars, and of course Future Revenge in eighth, followed by Carlos, Sergio, Sly Pete, Mosquera, and then of course Tony Bandit are your 13 runners left, with 25 minutes to go in this race, the penultimate race of the season, around number 6, season 7 of Thursday Night Racing League here at Spa-Francorchamps. And I'll tell you what, I am looking forward to seeing what Silverstone brings in around 2 weeks' time. Excuse me. But we'll see how close things will get for the likes of DC Joe. Is he going to get his maiden victory in Thursday Night Racing League, or is he going to settle for a podium? He's doing so well though so far. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on, but we'll soon figure out what's going to happen. But as I say, we will go on board with Stefano Marchetto and we'll get him sort of towards the end distance to see how well he's going to go. I will literally grab him in a minute, but hopefully don't put him off, because if I do put him off, I think I will seriously give up the ghost and not commentate, because I think that I would have put the commentator's curse on him. But so far at the moment, 39.7 seconds from JMR between DC Joe and JMR, and I think this is probably going to be a very good showing for the number 76 Ferrari. But Stefano Marchetto then is just currently going through Lake Om, so we'll see what happens with the likes of the number 4 Lexus RCF. As I say, 13 races left. We did have 17. It's been a bit unfortunate that, because you know the guys know it's still a long way to go. It's still a long way to go in this race. It's yeah, excuse me. Well, it's still a long way to go in this race, so excuse me, my voice is going. But yes, DC Joe then still leading the race. Then he's there. He's currently probably playing his strategy 100% correct at the moment. I think that's what he wanted to go for. I think he wanted to go for a longer stint. We'll see how much. Can't really tell how much fuel he's got in that car, but we'll go on board with him at the moment as he goes up Radion. But could be very interesting to see what that Ferrari is telling us on the dials. Can't really tell at the moment, but as I say, in around a couple of minutes' time, we'll get Stefano Marchetto to hear his thoughts about his race so far. But DC Joe's still doing a fabulous job there. Not many cars having battles now, because they're all equally sort of spread out now, because I think with what's going on at the moment, with around 13 cars left with 22 minutes to go, excuse me, it seems it could be very close to see what will happen. But JMR then pushing on, but he is around to try and work out with the gap. At the moment, he is currently let's work it out. 36.1 at the moment, but could all come down to if DC Joe makes a pit stop. But then DC Joe at the moment is flying. I don't know exactly what's happened to some of the guys tonight, but as I say, excuse me, we'll try and get the likes of Stefano in a minute, just to see how his racing is going. But go on board with him, and I'll just flick to the comms box quickly. But let's see what's going to happen. And Stefano, are you there, mate? How are you doing? How's it going? Okay. Excuse me, yep. Okay. Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, is he gone off? Oh dear. I didn't. Oh dear. Right, I'll leave you to it, mate. See you at the end. Oh. I do apologise about that, ladies and gents. I think we're having a bit of technical difficulties with our onboard communications this evening. Hopefully, we will actually, try again in 2 weeks' time. As I say, it's very difficult at the moment because we are new to sorting out the things, but I believe Sergio has binned it. From what Stefano was saying, but so I do apologise for that. We'll try and get the technical gremlins over and done with for Silverstone. But I do apologise if you tried to hear Stefano Marchetto, but you couldn't hear him. I will try and sort it out for, of course, the final round at Silverstone. But he was basically saying that Lemos had a nasty shunt at Erosion Radion, which didn't help him, and that's why he retired. So that's unfortunate for Lemos, but good news for JMR, because JMR is currently still second in the race. Then he is currently thereabouts. But as I say, I do apologise for technical difficulties this evening. But as I say, I don't know if I'm going to be doing driver interviews tonight, but I'll try and do them at the end of the final round at Silverstone, because obviously my voice is going, and I feel like it's going to be a long one to try and figure out. But DC Joe then is currently leading the race. Then still got to do his mandatory, but I tell you what, he's feeling very comfortable. He must be feeling very relaxed at the moment in that 76 Ferrari, with around just under 16 minutes to go in this race. But hopefully we do get a good end to the good end to sort of the race. But it seems at the moment that Jeremiah is still second. Stefano is, of course, currently thereabouts, but we'll soon figure out what is going to happen with the likes of Stefano, with Steve still in fourth. Then you got Hells, then you got Jeffrey, or Jeff Bry. I'm going to butcher everyone's name if I'm not careful. You got Unite Cars, then you got Future Revenge, and then you got, of course Carlos, and then Sergio, then of course Sly Pete, Mascara, and then Tony Bandit. And of course 13 cars remaining. It sounded like Lemos had a nasty shunt then. Didn't see it actually on stream, but it looked like he had quite a lot of substantial damage in that 24 Porsche. And it could be doing damage limit. It could be literally, as I say, a damage limitation for Joe Mar, because Joe Mar's gone into pit for some bizarre reason. Has he got less fuel, or has he actually now got an issue within his own rights? But who knows what's going to happen, because he's now dropped down to third. He could be even fourth now. This could be a bit of a shocker, but who knows? But Stefano was also saying he's on 3 strikes for track limit, so if he goes over any more, he will be getting a penalty. So it could be all or nothing. I don't know what's happened to Joe Mar at the moment. He's dropped down quite a bit. Probably still be on the. He won't be on the podium now. This is a bit unfortunate for the number 56 Ferrari. Hells is now 4th at the moment. What is going on for the Ferrari? Has he played the trump? Has his strategy gone to pot? Ooh, only time will tell. But DC Joe then into pit lane then. Joe Mar's 6th at the moment. No, this is going to be a disaster. This could be a disaster for Joe Mar. What has happened to Joe Mar? It is not a very I don't know. I don't want to put commentator's curse. He's now down into 6th, maybe 7th. There's going to be a lot of cursing going on, no doubt, in that pit crew. But you know, I think Unite Cars might be roughly 7th at the moment, so he might have a bit of a gap. But DC Joe coming through the next bit as Stefano Marchetto. No, he could be in the race lead. He could be in the race lead now. This is crucial. But then Stefano's points won't count for, because he's too far behind in the PlayStation table anyway, PlayStation 4 table. But he is probably now going to get the race lead from DC Joe. He may not. It all depends though. Has that changed though by any chance? Joe Mar is now 7th. What has happened to Joe Mar? Has the car had an issue? But DC Joe at the moment, he is about to go out of pit lane. 12 minutes to go in this race then. The penultimate race of the season. There is a lot. Well, Stefano Marchetto is in the race lead then. So DC Joe now could be onto the podium. Stefano could be right with a prediction. But what has happened to JMR? He is currently 8th. There has been an issue with that Ferrari. It's now 9th. Oh my days, what is going on? But is this going to open up the gap? Is this going to take the race to Silverstone? This is what we're going to have to try and find out. But as I say, I'm unfortunately not going to do driver interviews this evening. I feel like my voice is going to go. But at Silverstone, we will do driver interviews. We will do interviews prior to the racing starting. We will do interviews after the race at Silverstone at the season finale in 2 weeks' time. But this is hotting up now to be probably a close championship. JMR is still 9th. He could be 10th. Oh, it looks like Future Revenge though. He's had a lot of body scars on that Bentley, so anything can happen. But got just under 11 minutes to go. I'm not too sure what's happened to JMR though. I feel really sorry for him. He's on course to do very well this evening. Ugh. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But we'll soon find out. JMR is come out of pit lane, so that's good to see. But he is down in 10th place with 10 minutes to go. Can the comeback, can the survival of Spa-Francorchamps, can he survive 10 minutes of Spa? He is probably almost going to be a lap down as well. This is what he doesn't want. This is what he really does not want. I know Lemos is retired, but can he afford this though? Can he afford to be 10th place at the moment? It's a bit worrying. It is a bit scary to think. But we'll soon see what goes on. But we'll soon find out what will happen. He's got 9 minutes to go. Can he afford? Can he afford to literally? Can Jomar afford a 10th place? But who knows what's going to happen here? Because we've got 9 minutes to go in the penultimate race of the season. But Stefano Marchetto, as I say, I will do driver interviews next time out at Silverstone. But to tell you what, it's going to be a bit of a weird one, because Lemos hasn't finished, Chris Allen hasn't finished this evening, because you know it sounded like Lemos had a huge shunt, which doesn't help here at Spa-Francorchamps. Maybe the guys are probably thinking, we should have played it safe, but Stefano Marchetto then, with around 8 minutes to go, he is going to be pushing on to get where he wants to be. He's going to be back into the winner's circle, but as a guest for a PlayStation 4 lobby for the time being. But DC Joe then, with Steve right close behind him now. This could be a close battle for the podium, for the final 2 spots on the podium, with just under 8 minutes to go. This is where it's going to be tooth and nail between the pair of them, but who knows? I think poor old Lemos is going to be very gutted that his car is broken. It's going to be damage limitation. It's damage limitation probably for JMR as well, going into the final round. It might actually open up a bit of an advantage, but we need to find out what the permutations will be for Silverstone in 2 weeks' time. But we're on board with Steve trying to chase after, of course, DC Joe at the moment. It seems like DC Joe's driven the socks off of that Porsche at the moment. But you're yet to find out what could happen between these guys at the moment as he actually thinks about it. He's got alongside DC Joe, but the camera didn't do me justice on board. But Steve's got past the 76 Ferrari done. 7 minutes to go in this race, then it is still a bit of a way to go. But looking what's happening then, because the likes of Stefano Marchetto then still leading the race then, with just, like I say, just under 7 minutes to go in this race then. But who knows what's going to happen between the likes of Steve and DC Joe at the moment. DC Joe trying to claw his way back to Steve at the moment. Steve's trying to defend like mad, because he knows for a fact it could be a very close battle between the pair of them for the final 2 spots on the podium. And I'll tell you what, stop go penalty though for track limits, but then is that stop go penalty for 10 seconds though. That's for corner cutting, so that is for track limits, but I think it's classed as cutting, so I think he's cut somehow, unless he's cut the line and pit lane or something, but I don't really know. But Stefano Marchetto then, 6 minutes to go, still leads the race then, because JMR's dropped down to 10th. He's a lap down as well as JMR. Not too sure what's happened, but there is a car somewhere. There's a yellow flag somewhere on the map. Is that 22, I believe, is it? No, it's not. Can't work it out. 75, I think. Try to work it out. No, it's 76. 76 is DC Joe. Oh no! He's had it thrown away. What has happened? Has he pushed too hard with Steve? He's pushed too hard with Steve, hasn't he? While we're trying to figure out what's gone on and try to figure out who it was, he's dropped down to 4th. He's off the podium. Oh no, that is not what he wants with 5 minutes to go. That's allowed Hells to get into the podium then. A fair play to the 22 Jensen Button Rocket McLaren 720S. Hells will be delighted with this. I'll tell you what, we will be working out sound issues for next week, in 2 weeks' time, because I want to try and get the guys involved in this, in talking to me during the race as well, you know. But, you know, I don't know what's happened to JMR. Did he burn his tyres out? Did he not have enough fuel? Did he calculate his strategy gone wrong as future revenge? He is... what's he stopped there for? It seems he stopped in the middle of the bus stop chicane there. That's going to cause a yellow flag coming up to this bit, but he doesn't need to do that though. He's got 10-second stop-go penalty, but I don't know why he stopped there for. He's actually now retired the Bentley. I think that's a bit unfortunate. I don't know exactly what's gone on, because now it's 12 cars with 4 minutes to go. I hate to say this, but you know, if you're going to rage quit, it's just silly, because you can still carry on. You had 10 seconds of a stop-go penalty. That's now compared to 10 minutes of stop-go penalty. But it's a bit unfortunate. But Stefano Marchetto done. He is got around. It probably will be going on to what could be the penultimate lap, maybe the final lap. We'll soon find out when he crosses that line, because we do have around, I think it's about 2 minutes somewhat a lap. So he could be going on to the final lap of the race now. It could be the penultimate. We'll see how quick he does it. But he is on course to take a race victory this evening, as he is about to cross the line. He put obviously the line's around the other corner, around the source. I keep forgetting that's not the Grand Prix line. But maybe I need to learn Spa-Francorchamps quite a bit. But he's about to cross the line now. He is about to go on to what could be the penultimate lap. It could be the final lap. We don't know yet. It all depends on what the timekeepers say. But Steve in second, then Hells in third, then Jeff Bry in, of course, fourth at the moment. This could be a very good showing for Jeff Bry. But DC Joe, oh no, he's thrown it even away even more. He's now fifth. That is not clever for someone that was leading the race and gone onto the podium. I feel really sorry for him. Maybe he's had a bit of damage. It's probably a bit of damage with whatever happened, unless he had a bit of an issue with Steve and it's cost him a bit of damage. But he doesn't really want to be doing that. But you know, he's still fifth place in the race, so that will put him in some good stead, no doubt. But you've got the likes of Unai Cars trying to push on in sixth, Carlos there, but no, Unai Cars is of course now fifth with DC Joe now sixth, I beg your pardon, Carlos seventh, Sergio in of course eighth, Sly Pete ninth, JMR 10th. This could be crucial. This could be absolutely crucial, but we'll soon figure out what's going to happen with the likes of Mascara in of course 11th, and then of course Tony Bandit in of course 12th. But Stefano Marchetto then, he could be roughly, just looking at the time, could be going on to the final lap. But it all depends, because he's quick, but it depends if the timing keepers decide to say, yeah, we'll give him one final lap, because but then the rest will probably finish before him. Well, it could be Stefano could have a lap of honour on his own. But we'll soon find out what goes on. But like, as I say, I won't be doing any driver interviews this evening, because my voice is well and truly gone. But Stefano goes on to the final lap then. It does count here, because the start-finish race lap is around here. But the main line is where it's just crossed. But we'll see what happens. Steve in second, then Hells comfortably in third at the moment. I'll tell you what, this is good showing from Dunk at the moment, with Jeff Bry fourth, Unai Cars in fifth, then DC Joe in sixth now, Carlos in seventh, Sergio currently close for comfort between him and Hells. That's a bit close when you're putting a lap on him, but Sergio in 8th, then Sly Pete 9th, JMR 10th, the likes of Mascara and Tony Bandit 11th and 12th, but Tony Bandit, fair play, with around 4 seconds left. But Stefano Marchetto, then, I'll tell you what, he's driven absolutely fantastic, dabby doorsy tonight, within the lights of coming in for a race. But it seems there's been a bit of a we'll see what happens, because there could be a lot of permutations going into the final race of the season at Silverstone. As I say, there will be no driver interviews tonight, because my voice is well and truly gone. But it should be very interesting to see what happens with the likes of what happened with JMR and Stefano Marchetto. He's going to be taking a well-deserved victory tonight. I think this is what I try not to curse everyone, but I feel like I have now. But there's a car number, I think that's number, trying to work that out, number 7 is Sergio. He's gone off at the Camel Straight, but hopefully it doesn't bring out a late safety car, but it won't, because checker flags are coming up very shortly, as DC Joe's about to get a lap put on him by Stefano Marchetto there, which is a big shame really, because he did very well. But Stefano Marchetto, then, a fair play to this guy, coming in just as a one-off as DC Joe spins it out the bus stop chicane. But fair play to Stefano Marchetto, flashes the lights in the light to win around number 6. But that might be this could be a talking point with Steve in second. Steve could do very well to get into the championship fight. You never know here, with the likes of Lemos not finishing, and of course JMR currently down. He's in 10th place though. Not too sure what happened to him, but him and Stefano are probably going to be having a bit of a chat to see what went on. But as I say, driver interviews will not happen tonight, unfortunately. But I will have a friendly chat with the guys, offline, and I'll feedback to you guys at some point at Silverstone. But Steve, then, and of course, second place, followed by Helsden in third. He'll be happy with that, in the McLaren 720S, after 32 laps of racing this evening here at Spa-Francorchamps for round number 6, season 7 of the PlayStation 4 lobby here at Spa-Francorchamps. I'll tell you what, it has been a bit of a topsy-turvy. Jeff Bry, and of course 4th place, for a very good 4th place for the 765 720S, with the likes of Unite Cars in, of course, 5th place, I believe. I think that will count as 5th place for Unite Cars, even though made the mandatory, as him and Tony Bandit go side by side after the race. I think fair play to them. I think they are new to the division, so fair play to them going side by side across the line. So we'll see how well that pans out after, as I say, 32 laps of racing. Also, as I say, we'll try and catch up with the guys at Silverstone. But we need to, obviously, Unite Cars, fair play. I think he actually did his mandatory early on, so probably played advantage to that to get actually into 5th place. So fair play to him, with Sergio in, of course, 9th place, with JMR in 10th. But as I say, I'm going to go, because my voice is well and truly gone. But I will see you guys in 2 weeks' time for the Thursday Night Racing League, at Silverstone for the season finale. And hopefully things go to plan. Didn't know Stefano had a brother to make it 18 drivers. But yes, guys, I will see you guys very soon for another action-packed racing. If you have liked the stream, please do like and subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you at Silverstone. Take care. Ta-ra.